Hi students, in this video we are going to learning this keyword. This is the very useful keyword in the Java. So why we have to use this keyword? In some cases, whenever the class members and the local variables are matching inside the method definition, then we are having a little bit of confusion which value will be assigned to which value. I can go for a small example. Let us go for class A. In this one, I am declaring the two integer variables which are instance variables that we know. These are instance variables. These are instance variables. And after that, I would like to implement one method. The method name is m1. Here also, the formal arguments I am declaring here as a int x comma y. Now, my ambition is so the actual argument, the formal argument will matching to the instance variable. X is the instance variable and X is the formal argument. I would like to have an idea like this. But obviously, you are assigning only local values to local value. So here, the value does not assign to the instance members. The value does not assign to the instance members. So this is a one wrong approach, man. So in Java, to assign the instance members values, irrespective of the name, if the formal and the actual, the formal and the instance variables are same in name or different name, it should be used to use this keyword. So whenever we are having, so this is go for, I am calling it is a and it is a B, and the standard access, the standard assigning is this followed by x dot is equal to this dot x is equal to a, and we can go for this dot b, this dot y is equals to b. Now this is the good standardization when you are assigning the values to the instance members through the formal arguments. These are formal arguments and using the values through the instance variables or instance members. Now, if the formal arguments and the instance members are different in name, we may use this keyword or we may not use this keyword here. This keyword is optional since the formal arguments and our instance members are different in name. But it should be mandatory. It should be mandatory when the instance members and the formal arguments are same in name, then we have to use this keyword whenever the name is same. Whenever name is same, now the instance members are which one? X comma y, and the formal argument also x comma y. Now to assign these values to the instance members, we should use this keyword which is mandatory. So if it is a different in name, we can go for optional of using this keyword. But whenever the same name, we have to use this keyword as a mandatory approachment. Now, like this keyword can be used in three representations. One is to refer the current class instance variables, what we discussed now, and to call the constructor in another constructor, and to call the parent method in another method definition. That will be see one by one. Here I am writing instance variables. Let us go for the same example, class A. Here I am taking int A is the int x comma, int x is the one class member, and double followed by D is the another data member of a class A. Now I would call the set data method, which is a setter method to set the data of these things. Setter method takes two arguments. One is x as an integer data type, and double is the d, another data type double d variable which is called formal arguments. Now this dot x, always this refers to current class object is equal to x, and followed by this dot sum d equals to d. Now always this refers to the current class member. This refers to current class member. So here when you observe, left side of the assignment operator are the class members. Left side of the assignment of a class members, right side of the assignments are the local variables to the set data method. Now this the value of coming from the x value will assign to the class member x and d value to the class member d. This is the one flexibility, because here the formal arguments and the class members are same in name. We have to use the this keyword to assign values to the class members. Let me go for one more program. I will explain all the three programs in a one code. Now we go for another approachment of this keyword. What is the other this keyword is used? Now this can be used to invoke the current class constructor. What does it mean, sir? Now I can go for class apple is there. So I am defining class apple. It contains one constructor. So constructor name is the matching with the class name. Now I am using here the class apple, a text called system.out.println, out.println. So zero argument constructor, zero argument constructor. It's not a default constructor, zero argument constructor. Whenever it is a zero argument constructor, I would like to define overloading constructors are there. Overloading means constructor name is same with a different type of argument, then it is called overloaded constructor. I am defining one more apple where the argument is a int a. So one integer argument, and I can go for one more constructor. So to make the two integer arguments, one is int a comma, other one is int b. Now here it is a one argument. I am writing a simple code in the definition of the constructor, and here how many arguments constructor? Two argument constructor. Now if you create an object of this class, so in the other class I am creating class test. Now again I am implementing the main method here, public static void main, followed by main needs string class arguments. String class arguments that is maintained here, which are called command line arguments. Now here I am creating apple class. Apple sum a is equals to new apple, and I am calling here 10 comma 2. Now here I am calling the argument, which is the two arguments definition, and the code will be executing. When I call the one object, I would like to call the remaining two constructors code. I would like to call the remaining two constructors code. Once I am telling you are passing the two arguments, then obviously this code will be executed. Now I would like to execute these two codes. How it is possible? You have to use this keyword. You have to use this keyword here. Now anywhere we can use. Now I am telling here we can use here this dot followed by. So one argument constructor, or we can pass the value also. And here I am calling the zero argument constructor. I am calling the zero argument constructor. Now what is the approachment here? When you understand this one, now through object I am calling the two parameter constructor, and this will call the one argument constructor. This will call the one argument constructor. This will call the one argument constructor. In this definition, it calls the zero argument constructor. So first execute zero argument constructor, and after coming from the zero argument constructor to the one argument constructor code, after returning one argument constructor code will be executed, and after returning the two argument constructor code will be executed. Once again I am representing with the clear presentations. Make a look at here. I am calling the two argument constructor, and this will go to call the one argument constructor. In the one argument constructor code, I am calling the zero argument constructor. I am calling the zero argument constructor. Whenever it comes back from zero argument to the one argument, it will execute, first it will execute zero argument constructor followed by one argument constructor, and no more to execute, it will comes back to the two argument constructor, and two argument constructor code will be executed. This is a small approachment where we are doing the programs by using this keyword to invoke the parent class, to invoke the constructors, Let us execute this small program for a clear understanding to all the students. I am saving the program with the program 8. Now I could choose the new file. So here I want to create the program name as a class name as a program 8, and I am saving the same program in my working directory. In my working directory, I am saving the program with the program 8.java. Now it will be successfully saved. I would like to compile. So command prompt is opening. Now my working directory is D drive dd followed by jp And in the JP, I want to give Java C program 8.java. Program 8.java. Mistake is there. Program program, and it successfully compiled and is ready for execution. For execution, what is the command? Java followed by main method class name. Main method class name is the program 8, and it will be executed. So first it will execute the zero argument constructor, followed by here 2 argument constructor and 3 argument constructor. The simple things. Similarly, we can go for the other one. So where this can be used to refer the current class methods. So this is an optional where understand that. So I am taking class Prakash is there. So class Prakash is there. Inside this Prakash class, I am creating a method called widths. Now this is the method definition. So method with a 1 argument or a 0 argument, and they're calling a widths with the 1 argument. 1 argument code will be there, and this is the method. And followed by, you can go for void widths. I can go for 2 arguments int a comma int b. Similarly, now we can to call the here. So in the 2 argument construct, in the 2 argument method, I would like to call widths followed by a single argument 1. Okay, it will be executed. So rather than calling this one, we can easy to maintain that this dot widths. This refers to the current class method here. So when you pass the arguments, 2 arguments, and this version will be executed. In this version, any one of the statement, maybe at first, maybe at last, maybe at anywhere, we can go for to call the 0 argument method or 1 argument method. Let us go for a small execution of this program. So I can maintain the program. So one more program, the program number 9. So this is the program number 8. I can go for program number 9. So to go, what is the this keyword useful? So how it will be useful to use the this keyword inside the. So now I am writing here. So class apple is there, and here I am having changing that void m1 or void widths is the 1, and the class is Prakash, where P is capital. So class name starts with capital, and followed by I can go for widths. So I can maintain widths 1 argument method, and followed by, so here void widths is the another one. Now here I would like to know more is there. Now just I am calling so creating an object of Prakash class. So Prakash followed by object name P is equals to new Prakash, and here there is no constructor. The super constructor, that means the default constructor will be executed. Now after that one, I can call in the, so P dot widths by passing 10 is the argument. Now how many arguments I am passing here? Only 1 argument you are passing. When you pass the 1 argument, which code will be executed? 1 argument code will be executed. This 1 argument code will be executed. When it is executed, I would like to call each and every one. Before this one, I would like 0 argument. After this one, I would like to work with the 2 arguments. Now it can be possible here in the 1 argument constructor, I am calling this dot method name is widths, where I would like to pass 2 arguments 10, 20. Now after coming back from there, I would like to call this dot followed by widths method. Now here a 0 argument method. Now let us understand the execution style, how it works. I am calling the 1 argument method, and now in this code definition, it will call the 2 argument method. This will be executed. Whenever it comes back to the original code, it will execute 1 argument method. I can change it, and followed by, after that it will calling the 0 argument method. Now here not a 0 argument constructor, is a 0 argument method, that you have to understand. So before executing, I am changing the program. I am changing the program result. Here result is not important. So we have to understand how it will be working. How it will be working. How it will be working. How to understand the field. Now I would like to save the program with the program number 8. Program number 8 I am saving in my working directory. Sorry, it's a program number 9. 9 not 8, it's a 9. Program number 9 I am saving. So here the program number 9 and that is the extension is a Java. I am given that one, and compilation. So what is here? Program number 9.java, and if it is successfully compiled, as successfully compiled. Now Java followed by program number 9 and it will be working. Now understand first what is happening here. Simple things. I am calling the one argument. It is calling the two argument. The two argument result is two argument method println. Comes back to the one argument code, and again it is executing one argument s, and finally after executing the second statement of one argument method, it will call the zero argument method. So it is like happening. This can be used at anywhere. Sir, if you remove this keyword, the execution style is same. So here this is an optional. This is an optional to call the parent, to call the one class methods. I am saving the program. So here when you observe there is no this keyword. So I am executing, the same result will be produced. If you use this, it refers to the current class method. If you cannot use, already the function declaration, the method declaration to method definition, the control will be skipped. So this is this keyword. So now we will go for the class will be continued with the object parameter passing. Object as a parameter, as a argument. One class argument can pass one class like normal variables. Up to here, when you create a method of any data type, integer data type, the method name you can go for method. Now here we are calling a is a one data type, double is the one data type, and the string is the another data type. Like that we are passing different data types as a arguments. Like this one, for a one method, whatever the return type, for a one method I can pass a class object is a argument. A class object is a argument. A class object is a argument. Now before that one, when you learning the Java, I mentioned that the actual and formal arguments. The actual and formal arguments. So where are that factual arguments and where are the formal arguments? I can give the small presentation. The actual arguments there at method declaration or method calling. So these can be values or variables. These can be values or variables. Now, can you give an example, sir? Yes, I can given here. So object dot I am calling method name. Object call I am calling method name. So this is the method where it needs a two arguments. As integer data type, I can go 4,5. And object dot another method, the same method I can call obj dot method method, followed by some s is the one argument, r is the one argument, where s and r integer local variables, s and r integer type variables. So here the point is clear. The actual arguments can be a. The actual arguments can be a. Values can be a variables. So this should be matched with the formal arguments in respect to the count and order. If you take this as an example, these are the formal arguments. The first argument is an integer. The second argument is a double. The third argument is a string data type. Now, when we called it is a actual argument, we should pass in the same respective manner. How it will be? When I call this is a method, I would look call the object dot any object to call above the method. So the first argument should be an a. The first argument should be a which data type, integer data type, I am calling 23, and double data type 4, 5. And after data type, I am calling the Prakash. This is the one text. Now here let us observe, these are called actual arguments. These are called actual arguments. In this argument, the value will be given to this one. 23 will be stored in A and 4.5 will be stored in D, and S content is a Prakash characters. Now here I am writing, this is called a which one? Formal arguments. This one is called a formal arguments. The point is clear. Where the formal arguments take place? The formal argument takes place at method definition. At method definition, so there should be variables. There should be variables, not values, and must need individual declaration. Must need individual declaration. So we can go for individual declarations. So when you observe, we are declaring individually. I am declaring the int A as an individual, double D is the individual, string S is the individual. And formal argument and for actual argument must be matched with in respective of data type followed by order and count. How many arguments will be there? You have to pass same number of arguments. It should be matched. Now, why all this I'm thinking? It is the data type you can understand. Now, let us go for a small example. Here, I am telling that a class apple is there. A class apple is there. It needs a one method. The method name is fruit. The method name is fruit. Where I am the actual argument, the formal argument is a. So where I can go for an object of apple class called AP1. Now this is the some code is there. Some code is there. Now when you call the main class, class program 10. So class program 10, I would like to implement main method here. The main method public followed by static void main followed void main. Then I can go for string data type arguments here. The string data type arguments, if you pass, then I can create an object of apple class. So here apple A1 equals to new apple, and apple 2 is equals to apple A2 is equals to new apple. The return type is a void. Now I am calling with respect to A1, I am calling the which method? Fruit method, and argument is A2. Understand? Now this is the actual argument. And here we are having the formal argument. Now the actual argument is the object of apple class, which is an object of apple class. It will take and submit it to these data to the apple one. So the actual argument is a object of apple class, and the formal argument must be the same class object. And I declared here apple AP1. So creating an object. The formal arguments need individual declaration. The formal argument needs individual declaration. One more point here. So wherever we are passing a single object, it will carry all the members' data. This object acts as a representative of the class members. So let us go for here. I am taking int x comma into y. Writing that. Let us go for good implementation. So let us go for a good implementation here. So where I can choose the program other file, where I can go for program 10 is the new file. Now here the int x comma into y are the two members. I am writing the constructor. Apple followed by int a comma into b. Then the values of a is given to x, and the value of y is getting from. Sorry, here the actual and okay, we are changing a comma b. and the x is assigned, a is assigned to x, and y is y getting the value from b. Okay. Now the single a2, with respect to a2, I am passing 10 comma 20. With respect to a2, with respect to a1, I am passing 5 comma 6. Now with respect to a1 dot x value is how much? 5, followed by a1 dot a1 dot a1 dot a1 dot a1 dot x is equal to 6. Similarly, this is respect to a, with respect to a2 object, with respect to a2 object, I am passing x value is 10, and with respect to a2 object, the y value I am passing 20. Now I am given here one value, that is the main thing we have. The a2 is the passing here, it will carry all the information. The a2 dot x value is given to now ap1 dot x value. Here ap1 dot x value how much? It is equivalent to the, with respect to which object is passing? Second object. Now value will be 10. ap1 dot y value will be 20. Okay, now I am changing here with respect to ap1, it is changing. Okay, now let us understand. In this code, I am changing that value, which is ap1 dot x is equals to ap1 dot x is equals to ap1 dot x plus 100. I am adding 100, and ap2 dot ap1 dot y value is equals to, with the base value, ap1 dot x y is equals to plus 200. Now with respect to ap1, I am calling. Now which value is changing? You are calling. Now this is the a is passing as a x value is 10 and y value is 20. Now with respect to a1, its value will be changed. Now here the ap1 dot x, how much is become? It is become as a 110. It is becoming as a 220. Again, you are maintaining the a1. With respect to a1, the values are changed. Now with respect to a1 dot x, it will become 110, and with respect to a1 dot y, it will become 220, because you are calling with respect to a1. Now I would like to make a clear representation. So before calling, I would like to print a1 dot x value. So you can understand system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println before calling the values. So before calling the values, what will be the values, we can understand. So I can go for which one? a1 dot x value. So with this one, I can call a1 dot y value. So the same thing, after calling also, I am printing the values. So here, after calling, before calling and after calling. So after calling the a1 dot x value and a1 dot y value. Simple program. You have to understand. You are passing a2 as argument. It takes the value of a2, which is x value is 10 and y value is 20, and submitting to ap1. Here ap1 are changing with respect to ap1, and these affected values will be changed according to the a1. With respect to a1, you are changing. Let's go for small execution of this program. I have to save the program with the name of program 10. So saving program 10.java. Successfully saved, and I can execute the Java C program 10.java. Oh, so many errors are occurred. We missed the semicolon here. That is the compile time error. Now I am executing after saving this one. After modification in the program, I am saving the code. Let's go for Java program 10. It is a wrong statement. The class members can be declared in a group manner. Yeah, program successfully compiled. If you execute, I'm executing Java followed by class name and C. This is the program compiled and executed. So with respect to A2, I am pausing before calling. So before calling with respect to A2 object, the values are 10 comma 20. The values are 10 comma 20, that is printing before calling. After calling, it will be changing the values with respect to A2 object. With respect to A2 object. With respect to A2 object is calling, it is not affecting to the A1. It is not affecting to the A1. If you want, you can print the A1 values also. So let us go for consideration each and every step. This is a useful step. I can execute with respect to A1. So not calling. So the values with respect to A1, the values it is not changing. With respect to A1 object, the values are only we are changing the values from respect to A1 dot x, A2 dot x. Simple thing. Now I am saving the program once again and compilation. Program 10.java, it is compiled and the result. Now observe here, there is no case. With respect to A1, the values are not changing. This is called parameter passing an object as an argument. Object as an argument. With this one, a method can send, a method can return, object is a return type. Similarly, a method can return, object is a return type. So object we can pass object as a return type. Object as a return type. So here simple one. Whatever may be the return type. So we are catching with the same type. Now let us understand. Here, if the method return type is M1, now if it is to access that one, I can call int in the method calling. I can call here. So the return type should be the integer, and we should use return keyword at the last statement. After return, the statements are never executed. If similarly, M2 is the another method where the return type is double, the last statement inside this code will be the return type, that is the 34343.56. So now I would like to catch this method in anywhere in the method declaration double d equal to what is the method name. I can call m2 is the same. Similarly, whenever we are passing, the return type is the class name object. Return type is the object of a one class. Return type is the class name. Return type is the class name. Then it is passing an object to that class. Now an object to that class. An object to the class. Here, let us go for test is the class. Now I should pass an object which is belongs to object belongs to this class. Object belongs to this class. Now observe, the return type is double, you are returning the same value. The return type is an integer, you are mentioning the same thing. Similarly, whenever the return type is a class name, that means that it is returning an object of that class. The point is clear? The point is clear. Now I would like to go for here when the return type of a method when the return type of a method return type of a method return type of a method is return type of a method is class name, then it means that it is returning an object of an object of that class, an object of that class. Let us go for small example. I am calling A. A is the one. Now here A followed by the method name is Prakash. Prakash method is returning. Now I am writing statement 1 followed by statement 2, statement 1 followed by statement 2 and followed by so many statements, so on. Now after the last statement, I should go for return. What should be written? Written should be an object of that class. Which class? Prakash class, where I can create an object here. So that will be possible. Written is an object. This object is the return type. This object is the return type of that class. Return type of that class. Okay. Simply we can understand. Here. Okay. Let us go for a small execution of this program, where I would like to go for creating a new file. So here I should create a class called A. Inside this class, one member is there. It is I value or some P value. So the P value is assigning through the code where I am passing here. So one argument int x. So here x value is given to I, that the class member is assigned. Now inside this method, I am writing A is the object return type. Then I am mentioning the class name. The method is there. Inside this method, I am creating another object of A class. A1 is equals to new A. So it also passing this one. I should like to go for I plus 100. I plus 100. I is the, sorry, not I, P plus 100. So you say P is the member, P plus 100. Now let us go for, after this one, nothing more statements. So RETU, don't wasting my time. So I can go for return followed by which one? A1. So observe that. We can go for executions. Some more. Now I can write the class program level. Now in the main method, I would like to create an object of A. AOB is equals to AOB1 is equals to, or OBJ1. OBJ1 is equals to new A, where I am passing 2 is the argument. Let us understand. Now I am creating another object. AOBJ2 equals to new ABJ2 equals to, calling the method OBJ1 dot OBJ1 dot what is the method name? Method followed by return type is OBJ2. Now I would like to print, before calling, with respect to OBJ2, the value of AB. With respect to OBJ2, the P value is how much we are printing. So I would like to call this one OBJ2 dot, which one? OBJ2 dot P. Now simply, sir, can you explain the execution style? I'm always here to execute and explain. First, you call the constructor one argument and it will be called x, and x is P is giving as a value 2. With respect to OBJ1, x value is how much? Sorry, not x value, P value is how much? 2. P value is how much? 2. Then with respect to OBJ1, you are calling the method. So what is the method? Method name is same. Now we are not passing any arguments. Now in this code, you are creating another object and constructor code will be there, P plus 100. What are the directly we can access here? P is 2, and now we are calling the argument will be passed as a 102. 102 will be given now. These 102 will be given to here dx, and it will assign to P, and P value now becomes with respect to A1. The x value is 102. Previously, with respect to OBJ1, x value is 2. With respect to OBJ1, x value is 2. And you are returning A1. A1 you are returning and is submitting to OBJ2. That means the memory of A1 is referring to the object 2. Now we are printing object.p. It will printing 102. That you have to understand. So whenever an object is passing a return type to the method definition to declaration, it carries all the members, information. Let us go for execution of this code. Now I have to save the program by giving program11.java. Sorry. So program11.java. Program11.java. So executing. So program11.java. Method semicolon is missing here. Small mistakes are coming. Don't worry about this one. Now successfully compiled and is ready for execution. Object name is 1. Okay, na? So that's all for today. In this class, we learned that. So what's meant by this keyword? What is the use of this keyword? And how the object is passing an argument, and what is the return type of an object. Object is a return type. These three are the very important. Please make a one paper and pen and write everything what you seen here. If you not seen, again see the video and take a pen and paper, write each and every point which you understand. Thanks to one and all.